3. He's like, you must not work hard enough. I'm like, yeah, okay. I also go to bed at like 8:30 some nights, so I can wake up at 3 and stuff.
Wish I could do that.
As soon as the kids are on, I'm like, yep. They're sleeping. I'll go to sleep.
I don't know what it would be like to sleep.
You don't sleep very much?
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet last night was maybe.
Erica Hanley from Drescher and Malecki. This is her.
Oh. Okay, I'll just
Okay.
So louder than normal. Start up.
Yeah. It's not good. Should we find another space? Is it a boiler?
Yeah.
It's Kevin.
I think I would think that's a boiler. HVAC. It's an air handler somewhere.
Is it pumping out heat? Then we're good. It's warm in here.
Find out.
We are live, so we can start whenever.
Should we wait for Joey to come back or?
No, we can start. I can take you first. What's here?
Good morning and welcome to the March IDA board meeting. We do have a quorum. We do have our attorney, Steve Meyer, on video, as well as Erica Hanley from our audit committee, our audit firm, and Janice.
Janice is on now too.
And Janice, one of our board members.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Janice.
Do we need to go into an executive session?
Not for.
This for this entity? Approval of the minutes is next on our agenda. Minutes are in our packet.
I'll make the motion to approve those.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Who made those motions?
I
made it. Okay. All right.
Any changes in the agenda?
I don't believe so.
And finance report.
Don't see one.
There was any activity
Yeah.
out of that
Very good.
in the last couple months.
Our action items. First is presentation from Erica regarding the audit review.
Great.
And I'll turn over to Erica.
Great, thank you. Again, my name is Erica Handley. I am from Drescher and Malecki, and we serve as your independent external auditors. I'll make the similar presentation for each of the three entities over the course of this morning. So please feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions at any point. If you've been through these presentations before in prior years, it's very similar information, no significant changes year over year. So again, interrupt me if you have any questions, and otherwise I will go through the slide presentation. The products of our audit, what we are first and foremost hired to produce is an opinion on your basic financial statements. We assist in the compilation of those financial statements based on trial balances and financial information that we are provided. However, within those financial statements, the only information that we take ownership over is what is referred to as an opinion on the financial statements. This is the first 3 pages of the financial statement. We also issue what's referred to as an auditor communication letter. This is another required product of our audit that contains a series of information that we are required to formalize and share with you. And I'll share more of the contents of that on this next slide here. So within that letter, it outlines what our responsibilities are as your external auditors under generally accepted auditing standards, and those are to plan and perform an audit. The goal of that audit is to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free of material misstatement. So we'll never say that the financial statements are 100% correct or accurate. We're testing a sample of items throughout the year, so we give that reasonable assurance on the financial statements. Significant accounting policies, those are outlined in Note 1 to the financial statements. There have been no significant changes in the past year. So if you were going to compare last year's financial statements to this year's, they'd be comparable in terms of how you treat things from an accounting standpoint. Significant accounting estimates, occasionally there will be estimates in your financial statements. There were none in the Capital Resource Corporation financial statements this year. Independence is really the main thing that you're looking for in an external audit. Probably the most important thing that plays into the audit. Everyone who worked on your audit in our firm and everyone in our firm has signed off as being independent from the corporation. And then were there any other matters, we'd communicate that with you here. We had full cooperation of everyone at the corporation. We asked a lot of questions of Doreen over these past few weeks. We had no disagreements with management. We had full access to the books and records of the corporation. Again, coming back to that opinion that we issue on the financial statements, as I mentioned, we issue that. Currently, the financial statements are in draft form. They will be completed in time for the March 31st New York State Paris filing. We're just kind of ironing through some last-minute items with Doreen and with Mike, and then Doreen compiles the Paris reporting. Once she has that finalized, we're able to finalize the financial statements. But we're in good shape, no issues. Looking forward down the line to that March 31st deadline, we'll be in good shape. Again, on the opinions, our responsibility to perform an audit to determine the figures can be relied upon by an outside user and what our actual opinion is. We intend to move forward with issuing an unmodified or clean opinion, which is the best that you can receive. Moving on to some financial statement highlights, some trends and the details and results of this year's audit. The statement of net position, that's your balance sheet. It's on page 8 of the financials. That's a snapshot in time of your assets, liabilities, and equity at December 31st, 2025. Your net position or your equity balance at year end amounted to $63,600. collected on some outstanding notes in the current year, so there are no receivable balances. It's all cash outstanding, $63,000. Statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position. That's just the fancy way of saying an income statement. That's on page 9 of the financials. For this entity, there's really not much activity year over year, with the exception of just your normal operations. A slight overall decrease in net position of $983, just minor there based on your operations. And then the statement of cash flows, page 10 of your financial statements. Overall, your cash position did increase in 2025 by about $62,000. And as I mentioned, that's really just directly related to the collection of that one outstanding note receivable. So that receivable is not outstanding anymore, and you have the cash in hand from collecting on that. And then just overall observations, making note that we had no material weaknesses identified, no significant deficiencies resulting from our audit. So a really clean audit. Again, this year for the corporation, no significant changes from the prior year. Nothing much to report here, a small entity that not a lot of activity, so an easy audit on there with clean results. And that concludes the formal presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions on that if anyone has them.
Nice work, Doreen.
Let's see.
Any questions? Great, thank you, Erica.
Sure.
I think that's all we have to do. We authorize it next time, or?
So this is, it's in draft, so the slight challenge is we have to basically we have to submit the final completed audits as part of our Paris report, so
So
the
by the
past
March.
years, by the end of March. So before our next board meeting, so we have to do sort of a,
I think
Promissory
we
note?
approve it, I think we approve it as long as there isn't major changes. And
Right.
as there are major changes, we would let you know.
so as is, you approve the draft financials as is to be completed. If something else comes up between now and the final form from Erica and us, we will let you know. And if not, if there are no changes, then we will
Deem it approved. Yeah.
deem it approved.
There definitely shouldn't be any changes on the CRC,
Yeah.
so, cause there's not a lot of activity there, so that one's pretty much, should be good.
So we do need a motion to approve the draft.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll approve, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passed. Thank you.
Steve, do you need me to vote? Or let me ask, am I able to vote remotely?
I think we're fine, Janice. We don't need you to vote. You're free to chime in and give your opinions and ideas whereas, but.
Okay, I was just checking because I wasn't saying anything and I wasn't sure if you needed that on the record or not. So, okay, I'll just listen in then.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Next thing on the agenda is appoint Kim Hughes to the Loan Review Committee.
Yes, we did this last month for both the IDA and Verizon, which didn't have a CRC meeting. She's the Director of Finance for the Wine and Grape Foundation, and Loan Review Committee has welcomed her aboard, assuming it passes at board level.
We've already approved this for the other.
We
For the
approved it for the other
Yeah.
two organizations. We just didn't have this meeting last month.
So pretty straightforward. Can I have a motion to approve, Kim?
Make that motion.
Thank you, Melissa. Have a second?
I'll say.
Don't let you get over it. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Any abstentions? Very good, motion passed. Thank you. Next meeting, we'll have next month.
As
As
needed.
needed.
Yep, very good. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. opposed? Motion carried. Now we're on to
It's Horizon.
Human Rights Horizon. Again, the same guests, Erica, audit firm, Janice, our board member, and Steve Mayer, the attorney, online. And we need an executive session.
No, I don't think so.
Very good. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from last month?
I'll make that. I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion passed. Changes of the agenda? Good. Finance report? Okay.
Keeping it lean.
Moving quick. Action items. Again, we have a presentation from Erica for this particular EDC. Erica?
Great. Thank you again. Again, I will go through the presentation for the independent audit results from the December 31st, 2025 audit for the Horizon Economic Development Corporation. The products of our audit, the first and foremost thing that we're hired to issue the basic financial statements of the corporation at December 31st, 2025. Within those financial statements, all of the information comes directly from management. We take that information, perform tests over it, and are able to compile the basic financial statements. Within those financial statements, there is an opinion. That's the only piece of information that we take ownership over and draft ourselves. That's found on pages 1 through 3 of the draft financial statements. We also issue what's referred to as an auditor communication letter. This is a standard form letter that you receive every year with some standard language that we are required to communicate to this group. Within that auditor communication letter, there's a few required series of communications. This includes what our responsibility is as your external independent auditors under generally accepted auditing standards. This is to plan and perform an audit of the information that we receive from you to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free of material misstatement. Significant accounting policies, those are outlined in Note 1 to the financial statements. For your information, there have been no changes in those policies within the past year. If there were significant changes, we communicate them to you here today. Occasionally, your financial statements do include certain estimates that we are required to audit. For the December 31st, 2025 fiscal year and financial statements related to that year, there were no estimates included within those financial statements. Independence, the most important factor of your external auditors is that they are independent of the entity. Everyone who worked on the audit and everyone within our firm has signed off as being independent from the corporation, so no issues in fact or appearance there. And then other matters, have there been any scope limitations, had any disagreements or significant barriers to our audit procedures, we would communicate them with you here. We have full and complete access to the books and records. It's a quick turnaround of an audit, so we appreciate the coordination that it takes to get everything compiled and put together so that we are able to come to this conclusion at this point in March. Our independent auditor's opinion, as I mentioned, that's the only piece of information that we take ownership over in the audit. We are in draft form for the corporation's financial statements at this point. A few of the last things that we are buttoning up, along with the compilation of the Paris report. There are certainly no issues in assuring that those are completed by the March 31st.
We're losing you, Eric. Erica, it's going in and out right now.
Our responsibility in relation to the opinion appropriately. All right. hear me now?
I think it's coming back, yep.
Hear me?
Perfect.
Okay.
Up again?
Well, maybe not.
So can you
Yeah, it's
let me? I'm gonna try to dial in for my phone. See if that works.
it seems better right now. So maybe it was just a quick glitch.
Okay. Okay. If it happens again, I'm just trying my phone as well.
Okay.
Okay. So then our opinion, we tend.
Yeah, we're gonna be back now.
Yeah.
If she mutes, it should be okay.
Make the phone ring. Or mute one of them.
Okay. Is that working?
Yep.
I think so.
Okay. So then, our responsibilities, it's to plan and perform an audit to determine that the figures in the financial statements can be relied upon by an outside user. And that it has been achieved through our audit procedures. And then our opinion, we intend to move forward with issuing an unmodified opinion. That's a clean opinion. That's the best that you can do from an audit perspective. Moving on to some of the financial statement highlights. The statement of net position, that is your balance sheet that can be found on page 9 of the financial statements. That is all of the balances of your assets and liabilities and your equity position at December 31st, 2025. At December 31st, 2025, your ending net position balance amounted to just over $2.5 million. I just want to note this one does have us, and also the IDA will have a slight change compared to the drafts that you did receive. This is due to a write-off of a grant receivable. We talked with Doreen and Mike about this. There was about a $53,000 grant that was on the books that was determined at this point really to be a timing thing, that it had been a receivable, but the entity has not yet claimed reimbursement for. After talking with Mike, it was determined that the reimbursement request will go through, but for audit purposes, it can't really be a receivable on your books until the steps have been taken to claim that revenue. So it's not saying that that won't be collected or it's unallowed or disallowed or anything like that. It's really just the timing of it, that the revenue should be recognized when that reimbursement request has been put into place. So we will send those updated drafts with that grant receivable excluded, but I just wanted to make note of that in the presentation today. On that statement of net position, and the $2.5 million, that primarily represents your assets. Total notes receivable makes up the majority of that, about $1.5 million, and then the remaining assets are cash and cash equivalents of just under $1.1 million. Your statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position, that's your income statement. There was a slight decrease in that position this year of about $104,000. Your total operating revenues of about $205,000. That's a slight increase from the prior year. That's primarily resulted from the additional grant revenue related to your Main Street grant. Last year there was about $100,000 of revenue recognized. This year there's about $150,000. So that change helped to increase your overall position. On the flip side, however, you did have an increase in your total operating expenses. Total operating expenses amounted to about just under $310,000. The big change there was that there was the distribution of that Main Street grant funding in your building improvement funds line, about $295,000. That wasn't recognized in 2024, so if you're comparing the financial statements, you will see a larger increase in your expenses because of the disbursement of those funds. And then the statement of cash flows kind of pulls all of this information together. Overall cash decreased $130,000. The main drivers of that decrease always result of the disbursement of the grant funding impacts your cash directly. So the cash flows really tells the story of your revenues and expenses. And then overall observations, no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies resulting from our audit. So that's a clear picture of, the operations and the record keeping being in good shape. No significant changes from the prior year. Overall, a clean audit for this entity. I'm happy to answer any questions now if you have any.
If you were to, the only thing I'd just, again, clarify, we did email them out to you, the drafts, if you look at it, that there's a pretty big chunk here that shows the big contractual expenses, which was that, Eric mentioned the Main Street grant, but it's pretty significant. It looks like a huge jump from the previous years.
The building improvement fund for Penn paid out 3 different properties in 2025.
Very good. Nice work again.
Thank
you. Any questions? Janice, any questions?
No, I'm good, thank you, Steve.
You're welcome. So can I have a motion to approve the audit report with the slight change that Erica mentioned regarding the $53,000 write-off?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passed. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is a loan write-off for the
Marinus. So this was this has been on our books a long time. Marinus was originally one of the emergency loan fund recipients from the flood in 2014. They had the home, I think it was Home Necessities business on Main Street, which I don't remember. I think that's where Parker's is now. We chased them around for a while, got collections on them, and one of the main potential people that are going to help pay us back had passed away. There's one other person, and we've eked out everything we're going to get back from it. So instead of keeping it on the books as showing as a receivable, I think we've done everything we've done everything we can to get back what we're going to get back from it. So it's the amount is
This is what we have to write off.
$9,636.13. The original loan was $30,000. So
There's a judgment placed on them through the collections agency. They did a massive search of any accounts. The small amount that we did get back came down to some unclaimed funds that they were able to locate and then dispersed out.
The New York State unclaimed funds site.
Yeah.
So we got everything we could. We got the.
Okay. And you've been trying for years, it sounds like.
Yes, 2012 years is a long time.
14,
Yeah,
yeah.
almost
Probably since
immediately.
2019, because it probably had a 5-year.
Yeah.
Probably had a 5-year payback on the 30,000.
There's nothing you can, like, you can't put like a lien, go after their estate or anything like that, like.
I don't think there's anything there. So it was a mother-son that were on our agreements. The mother passed away. The son got tax liens against them, all sorts of. We're way down the line as is.
We don't necessarily have to give up, but I just think as far as our records here,
How much for that 90,000? What percentage is that of your bad debt right now? Is it 100% of it?
oh no,
Or is it? Okay.
no, we're working on some other ones too. But
Okay. Do you know what percentage it is?
Sorry. Did you guys say 90,000, 90 or 9,000?
9,000.
9,000.
Okay. Thanks. I just had a little catch in my throat because I thought I misheard it was 90.
That make a difference.
I mean, I don't know, much more like you said.
Yes.
Just curious
Thanks for
what the how
clarify.
bad AR is for this particular entity. You know,
I can put the
if it falls to the
defibrillators in
180
there now.
plus.
I also think, this had been in previous years, just from an accounting standpoint, in previous years, this was included in an allowance for doubtful accounts.
Mhm.
So I think from a financial statement perspective, it actually wasn't showing
Right.
as a receivable. There was a corresponding credit to it. So I know that doesn't affect like your cash flows, but just from the way your financial statements looked, it was not showing as a receivable because it was in collections.
So this won't show up on this audit, but next year's.
Doesn't even sound like it'll show up on next year's, right?
As a write-off.
It was written off, but the way it was written off in 2025. So it does show up in 2025's audit, but it's you're not even gonna really notice it in the audit because it was kind of assumed that it wasn't going to be collected in prior years anyway.
I would make the motion.
My only.
I just had a quote, I was just curious what else we could do,
Yeah.
Obviously, any equity that was, 18th Amendment property at the Parkers. Okay. My only, obviously, continue to try even though those will probably go through. We do the same thing. We never can stop trying. At a certain point, you just say, it's not gonna happen. Can I have a motion to approve the write-off?
I would make that motion.
Thank you. Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Thank you. Next meeting, next month.
As needed.
Yeah, as needed.
Like the next one.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that.
Thank you. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Now we will begin our board meeting for the Economic Development Center. And we have the same guests, Erica with our audit firm, Janice Gold as a board member, and Steve Mayer as our attorney. Do we need an executive session?
We do, but I suggest maybe we move the audit presentation to give that one first, and then we can push and then go to the executive session so we can let Erica
I agree.
go. Okay.
Slight change in our agenda. We're gonna have the audit presentation now, and then we'll resume into an executive session. So with that, we don't need a motion. Do I need a motion for
Steve,
that?
you wanna approve the minutes?
I guess you minutes, so I guess, let me rephrase, we'll go ahead and approve the minutes from last month.
Like that motion.
Can I have a motion? Okay, can I have a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Very good. Correct. So now we will adjust our agenda and ask for Erica to do a presentation on the audit report.
Great, thank you again. I'm here again to present the results of the December 31st, 2025 audit for the Economic Development Center. The products of our audit, or the deliverables that you will receive upon completion, your basic financial statements. We assist in the compilation of these financial statements that are in draft form at this point. That is all compiled, however, based on the trial balances and financial information that provided by management. Within those statements, the items that we take ownership over are the first pages of the financial statements, which are the opinions on the financial statements. The rest of the information comes directly from management. We also issue an auditor communication letter. This is a required communication that we have every year. You will hear that it's similar to prior years. It's standard communication that we have to share with this group. Within that letter, there's certain items that are outlined, including what our responsibility is under generally accepted auditing standards. Our responsibility is to plan and perform an audit to obtain reasonable assurance over the financial statements. We don't give 100% assurance, or we'll never say things are accurate or totally complete. Just because we're choosing a sample of items for testing, we do not test and are not required to test 100% of your transactions through the year. Significant accounting policies, those are outlined in footnote 1 to the financial statements. There have been no significant changes from the prior year. Significant accounting estimates. These financial statements do include two significant accounting estimates. When there are estimates in the financial statements, we are required to evaluate the inputs that develop those estimates, and we have determined that they are reasonable. For your information, those two estimates are related to the compensated absences or sick and vacation accrual balances, and also the net pension liability. That's the New York State Retirement System liability. And for that estimate, all the information comes directly from New York State. They provide you with information, you provide it to us, and then we include that within the financial statements. Independence, probably the most important thing you're looking for in an external audit. Everyone in our firm, whether they worked on this audit or not, has signed off as being independent from the agency, so no issues there. And then other matters, there were no other matters to note at this point for the audit. We had full cooperation of everyone that we came in contact with, had full access to the books and records, no scope limitations. We weren't denied access to looking at any of the items that we requested. Again, our audit opinion, the only thing that we take ownership over on the financial statements. As you know, these financial statements are in draft form at this point. We will have all the information we need from management and cleaned up on our end as well to ensure that they are submitted and finalized for the March 31st New York State Paris filing. Our opinion that we intend to move forward with in these financial statements is what's referred to as an unmodified opinion or a clean opinion. That's the best that you can do from an audit perspective. And then some financial statement highlights. The statement of net position at December 31st, 2025, that's your balance sheet. Your equity balance or your net position at this time, December 31st, was just over $9 million. Again, this is a slight $53,000 difference in the drafts that you have been provided related to that grant receivable that was written off. The Horizon Economic Development Corporation financial statements get combined into these financial statements. So it's really the same item that we talked about in the previous presentation. Just because of the way they're presented, though, it shows up as a combined component unit here. So it impacts these financial statements as well. It's not two separate items, it's just the same item showing up in both places. Your statement of revenues and expenses and changes in that position, or your income statement, there was a slight decrease in that position of about $157,000 for the year. Your total operating revenues amounting to $980,000. The bulk of that revenue relates to rental of real property line. Your revenues did decrease by about $196,000. That's just really directly related to fewer project fees being recognized based on what you have going on each year. Last year was higher than normal, about $400,000. This year decreased to about $146,000. Those show up in the bond service line. On the operating expenses side of things, there was an increase of about $301,000. That relates again to the Horizon Economic Development Corporation that has the higher operating expenses due to disbursements of those three disbursements related to the Main Street grant that we discussed previously. So again, those show up in these financial statements and inflate your operating expenses. On the statement of cash flows, the next page, page 11 of your financial statements, overall cash had a decrease of about $43,000. Your cash flow from operations coming in at a positive of about $14,000. That grouping relates really to your issuance and collections of notes. So depending on how many you issue or collect down each year, you are seeing a fluctuation in your cash flows related to operations. The next category in there is your cash flows relating to capital. That just outlines if you're making capital purchases, which will always be a decrease in cash flows because money's going out the door as you obtain anything capital related. And the third category is cash flows from investing. That's where you can see purchases of CDs or interest earnings or cashing in on the CDs. This year that was favorable and had an increase in cash flows related to that category due to favorable interest earnings and cashing in some of your CDs. Overall observations, a very clean audit, no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies, no reportable findings as they relate to our audit. No items to note, pretty similar to prior years. Just keep paying attention to those notes receivable balances. Doreen pays close attention to those, reconciling the loan software to the general ledger. We always have a few differences that take up probably the bulk of this audit, just kind of reconciling those two programs, which Doreen has a handle on and always has an answer for us, but there are occasionally some journal entries related to that. So just keeping an eye on that as, one of the riskier areas of our audit, just in terms of the volume and the way these entities operate. That's just going to be the nature of how your organization is run. So keeping an eye on those, but no real findings or anything related to that, just something we like to point out. And then this last slide has my contact information. I'm happy to answer any questions now, or if anything comes up before March 31st or at any point during the year. Very happy to answer any questions at any point.
Thanks, Eric. I just to chime in on that last part Eric was talking about with the loan software and the number of transactions that you see what we do here as board members, but as a sort of across the board, other IDAs, very few have even many of them don't have any sort of loan fund program. They rely on outside organizations to do it. Others that do have it don't have anywhere near the volume of transactions that we do. So for one of the smaller counties, it is corresponding to a very active loan fund compared to what goes on in most parts of the other states, especially for the size of us. So,
is it just a matter of two different software programs, and so data entries are different?
So the loan software is based on the date of payment. So we put in the date that we received the check. So it changes the interest and principal. So if you pay on the 5th, March 5th, your payment goes through and it's whatever, and then say you don't pay till April 20th, that reflects that. So it doesn't follow an amortization schedule, and that's where the differences get off. But so every audit, all the amortization schedules get updated and uploaded to ShareFile for audit. So that's where we get off a little bit. And then if you miss a month, it calculates, so it'll take the previous month payment you missed, they'll take out the interest and the late fees, so then the principal goes down, and that's where our balances get off. So
sounds like our software is slightly more accurate because it includes the interest until we receive payment.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can transfer the payments over to QuickBooks, which is still a little bit, just have to make sure they
we've had loan software now for quite a while. I remember when we were first looking for a program, we used something else for a little bit and it didn't go super well. And I called around to lots of different places. Nobody used really anything. And I think
asked LMB.
Yeah, we even had
I was gonna say,
some of the
some
banks, and
bank.
they either have proprietary stuff or So this has actually worked, might not be the easiest thing to work with, but it's the one that's worked best.
It's not perfect, and receivables is a little, I need to do some more research in the program and play with it a little bit more, but it'll come up. So if you miss a month and then say 2 months later you make 2 payments, it takes that into consideration, but it's still saying that you owe that other month, and it comes up. I think that's our aging is a little off, so I need to work on that this year, try to get that figured out and get a better handle on that.
If only the people pay on time, right?
Right. Mike hears me say that all the time.
We've gotten better with the automatic payments, so there's not quite as many. But
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Very good. Well, once again, excellent job, Doreen and Mike and Steve.
all Doreen.
No, you helped.
Any questions for Erica? Janice, you good?
Did we lose Janice?
She's there. She's on mute.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Well, she's actually there now.
Yeah. It's a nice
I think we're good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Erica.
Thank you, Erica.
Sure.
And,
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Sounds good. Thanks, Doreen.
So again, on this, you need the approval on this, similar to the other two, where it'll be unless there's some dramatic change, that we need the approval of that as final.
Yep. Can I get a draft to approve our audit report with the slight change that we talked about due to the $53,000 write-off related to the grant?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
She did the hand
She
movement.
tapped it. She
buzzed
tapped
it.
I buzzed.
Not
Very
our
good.
poker players here.
Yeah, any discussion? Hearing none? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Thank you. So now, let's jump back
We can
into.
go back to agenda changes
Okay.
real quick.
Yep.
We're going to delete number 2, right? Or no, what shows it? Number 3. We're going to delete number 3, right? Correct, yep.
The lease receivable write-off.
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna eliminate any more write-offs this month, which is good.
Yeah, I think there's still an avenue there we can take on these.
Very good. So we do need an executive session. Can I have a motion to enter executive session?
For the purposes of discussing this particular company's financials and ongoing litigation with the town of Myla, Village of Indiana.
Thank you, Steve. Correct way to enter executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried.
legally can take action.
We are now out of executive session, no formal actions were taken. Can I take a motion, can I get a motion to come out of executive session?
Yes.
Very good, thank you.
Have to get a little buzzer
Any
sound.
discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried, thank you. Back onto our agenda, I think we're up to the finance reports.
Yeah.
Alright. I have total checks today, $118,826.37. Check number 7150 to 7185 and E294 to E298. I don't know, I think we've pretty much talked about everything else, so.
Can I get a motion to approve the finance report?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Thank you. Status reports.
No update other than you can see Joe's painting the hallway. It's gonna look nice when it's done.
Any update on the elevator?
It's all done.
Oh.
Feel free to have a ride.
Are you charging?
Nope.
We should.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Some of the
should.
money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they have done in 4 weeks.
Nice.
Yep.
Excellent.
We told everybody 6 to 8 weeks.
Nice.
Done in 4.
Yeah.
For you. Mike, anything?
Goes up and down half the time.
Parker's won the wing walk for
Ah.
first Saturday of March. 60 and sunny, so that was the first time we've had really
I
nice
was,
weather. It was awesome.
I was in the Caribbean
Fountain was
and
bumping.
missed, nice.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, rough.
Sorry.
Nice little flex.
I had no way. Am I showing off? Is that what that was?
A little bit.
We got tropical here.
Hey, sorry, is drinking rum runners on the beach.
And then in the status report, I talked about the pilot submissions. That's taking an incredible amount of time, but we updated our spreadsheet this year. So it's gonna be smoother going forward. First year getting everything input. It's taking a tremendous amount of time, and then we were gonna meet with all the affected taxing jurisdictions to clean up the pilot billings, because there's a fair amount of error and issues there that it's just dumbfounding. Unfortunately, so a lot of work this year. Will be much improved next year.
I appreciate your efforts.
We've been meeting with them every year afterwards, and we are getting, every year it gets better. We think there needs to be clearly one additional step somewhere to clean it up completely, but we'll get there. We're not really in charge of the billings, so it becomes more of a challenge when you have to report on the billings when you didn't have anything to do with us, if that makes sense to some of them, but anyways. Only update I'll give on that is that again, I've mentioned it, but the leadership in Gates County programs is an absolute hit right now. So even the feedback I'm getting from all the participants again is better than we expected. We're gonna send more people in. And I mentioned we got people from outside the county now wondering if they can participate in it. So we
Charge them double, it's like out of state tuition.
we gotta stop it. I mean, 15's the number. We got 19 this year, which is too many. So 15's gonna have to be the max. We'll have to play around some of the pricing metrics and stuff to get there. And just staying on that side, gonna be involved in this month and next month, with QK College on their career week. Actually, so is Janice on this one. We're gonna be part of a Shark Tank kind of judge panel for all the students. They can either sort of purposely wild business ideas to see what'll go. And I'm also involved again in their emerging leader program that they launched last year. This will be their second time through. And then Penn Yan Academy's asked me to do the initial keynote speech again for their career day, which is coming up. I responded to him.
Scott emailed me yesterday at the end, so I
gotta get
say
back to
you're
him
good
on
to
that.
go.
So, staying involved in those things are trying to drive workforce side of things, so that's what I got for management.
Very
We
good.
wanna do even number for leadership.
Congrats on the leadership program.
It's been great. Yeah, really enjoying it.
Good. And how
The
much
team-
longer do you have?
There's
Halfway through.
halfway through, yeah, 3 more sessions, small virtual session, and then within that 3, there's like a capstone. Everyone does a presentation on what they've learned and how they've grown from the program at the end.
Excellent.
I'd be interested in seeing just maybe a quick snippet of where people think like it's helped them and what areas it's helped them grow, because that'll be nice to know, especially to pass on to the county for our leadership there of what people we would like to put in there, you know, so. I think
Yeah, oh gosh, why can't it, highway superintendent, why can't it?
Doug
Doug,
Ridley.
it's kind of fun, cause his initial response was, I had said to everybody, I know some of you were voluntold you were gonna take part in this program, and I think you'll find you'll end up liking it, and he joked that he was sort of voluntold to take it, and he's full in, like it's, he's really enjoying it, he's getting a lot out of it, and participating a ton in it, so it's, we're gonna do a kind of, I was just talking with Jack, we did a halfway update, like where are we, what changes should we be making, and there are some tweaks we wanna make to it, but among that, I said I wanna start doing sort of like a participant spotlight, and sort of asking just that question already, so even if it's not the presentation, just like a little snippet of who they are, what they've got out of it, that sort of thing, so.
I think it's neat. I mean, I think any of us that own a business had to learn the hard way, so it's nice to give people a jump start.
Kyle Gifford, president of Virgin Mills, he's in it, and
Wow.
he's loving it. He's said again, I got an email from him again this morning, getting way more out of it than I expected, so,
Awesome.
yeah.
You never told Bill Hurd.
Yeah.
If you could keep me posted on when that capstone presentation is, if my schedule allows, I'd like to sit.
Absolutely.
Alright.
Awesome.
Yeah, they do encourage everyone to invite one of their leaders to the program.
Very cool.
Obviously, Steve will be there, so we'll extend that invite beyond.
Awesome.
There's the sample ballot for the village. Just look, I knew somebody would. Yeah, I know.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, we'll move on. to
Yep.
Action items, coach and equipment, resolution.
Okay, so we had our coaching equipment is looking at doing their expansion, 65,000 square foot expansion. We covered this before. We did the public hearing resolution, initial resolution a couple of months back. We held the public hearing this past month. Nobody came, so I don't have any comments to report back to you. There's 4 of them there. This is just the project summary. You've seen it before, you got my little chicken scratch writing on there. This kind of summarizes everything for you. So 65,000 square foot expansion, 40 new jobs projected over 3 years. We're gonna be just shy of $700,000 in exemptions to a $41 million community benefit, wages and capital improvements. So 59-to-1 ratio. So what we're looking for now is the vote on the final resolution approving those incentives, 15-year pilot, sales and mortgage tax exemptions. We might have to, as part of this, there is an existing pilot that Coach assumed when they took over the Gordon Randall property. We had a pilot on that. Gordon Randall was a half steel plant or wholesaler, half welding shop. Coach bought it, so the pilot was transferred over to them. As they're going through the site plans, it was come up that this new building is gonna basically encroach on that property lines. And even though they own both, we show up on title with the existing pilot for what was the Gordon Randall, so we might have to do some sort of future allowance of them to basically encroach or move a lot line. All it's gonna take is they literally just have to form a new survey. They just gotta do a new survey, new property line
Adjusting a
description.
lot line.
It doesn't impact at all what the Gordon Randall building was or is doing. It's just more on an administrative side, but there could be something coming back in a little it's minor and it's literally just updating probably a survey map or something like that, but. So anyways, we need a, we need a motion in a second, and then it will be a roll call vote.
I'll make the motion.
Have a second?
Marissa?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Jared?
Motion passes.
What,
That's it. Next meeting, tax day, April 15th. Very good. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
then you